Movie notes on Dallas Buyers Club 2013 film, 15 January 2026 viewing. Here I, Tanis Coralee of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for my Thursday, 15 January 2026 viewing of the 2013 film Dallas Buyers Club, which is so my description for this viewing is, which is a biographical film about a man in the 1980s who is diagnosed with HIV and later AIDS, who seeks out assistance in the medical industry for medicinal treatment of his conditions. Yes, and so the guy is kind of, he's in the industry of rodeo. Rodeo in the United States of America is like, it's a sport. I've been to a rodeo in person, and so there's like horses and there's bulls and there's and like riding of the bulls and stuff like that. And so that's kind of the industry this guy comes from, and he gets diagnosed with HIV, and it does a good job, the movie, of it covers some of kind of like the basics around the kind of outbreak of COVID, not COVID, COVID is nowhere near as bad as HIV, especially in the 1980s, you know, and at least as of when this video was filmed on Thursday, 15 January 2026. And so he, like, he's at the doctor's, and he's like, he uses drugs, and he has an active sexual life, and they're like accusing him but not accusing him of being a homosexual, and he's like, like of the things I do, that's not it. And so it's just later like on a computer, and it's there's the case. This is kind of like the susceptibilities or whatever one wants to call them, are kind of homosexuality, substance use, so like drug use, and then unprotected sex. And so it's kind of like the last two for this guy, though he, as the story progresses, he befriends a transgender individual. So he does like come into the world of the LGBTQ plus community. However, like as the story progresses, so it was a good movie, I think, in the sense of like providing kind of an alternate perspective towards the beginning of when HIV kind of broke out, and kind of perhaps a minority voice. What was the number displayed on screen? Was it 71% were homosexuality cases? So, drug use and unprotected sex were not the majority. So from that, I think it's a good movie, and it does cover just like some of the really basics like that, or like I can think of it as, what was the doctor that described it as, the person gets HIV, the virus, they get it because of an impaired immune system. So something about the homosexuality or the drug use or the unprotected sex impairs the immune system in such a way that the HIV virus latches on. Okay. And so essentially, however that immune system is impaired, like if it's impaired in a certain way, it makes the person susceptible to getting the HIV virus. And so those are like the most impacted groups. So whatever that is, that corresponds to impairment in their immune system, they get HIV, kind of thing, if that makes sense. And so I thought it did a good job of like kind of putting the basics out there, but then also this guy navigating the like, how the heck does he get treatment, especially because it's new. So like, is that even possible? Or it's extending, like a 30-day life sentence to, he lived for 7 more years. All right. So there's a little bit of like, very much a patient story in that sense, and a patient interacting with the medical industry. And while a virus can adapt, so can the medical industry, and treatments and drugs and that kind of thing, or medicines to treat that adapting virus. So there we go. That was good. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Those are my movie notes on Dallas Buyers Club 2013 film, 15 January 2026 viewing.